Hello there, everybody. Today is March 7th, 2024, and today we're asking ourselves the question, what is this CJ Stroud worth in a PSA 10 grade? We're discussing the 2023 Panini Football Prizm card number 339. It is a rookie card for CJ Stroud. We're also going to be discussing the parallels that are in this. We've got the red, white, and blue. We've got a pink. We've got a green wave. We've got an orange laser. And last, we'll be doing the silver. So I did collect all of this information through recent sales on eBay. So I like to generally get 15 data point sets. That's not always possible, and we'll discuss that later. But here we have 15 data point sets for the base card in a PSA 10 grade. I collected the price points, the date, and the shipping costs, and we'll also generate a total here, okay? So pretty simple, straightforward, right? So far, I should also mention that if you're looking for this in a raw, ungraded version, I did pretty much the same exact video, but addressing the raw valuation of the cards. Go check that one out as well. So let's get going. First, let's discuss what this chart is establishing. So in the blue, we have an average price paid in order to win a card on eBay. So this is the average bid price somebody had to make in order to get it. We have an average shipping of $5.11, and out the door is $173.84. So again, $168.73 is the average bid price. Is that what I think this card is worth? Most certainly not. Why? Because, well, it doesn't really address what sellers are taking home. There's fees that sellers have to pay, and that's coming to about $146.07 is what their take home is going to be after they get between 13 and 15% taken right off the top. So for me, a true valuation of a card is what a seller is willing to let it go for in this business. That's just what I believe. I know it's what a person is willing to pay for it, but I feel like the card market is a little backwards in that regard. So 146.07 would be more typical of what I would consider fair market value for this card in a PSA 10 grade, but that's not what I'm trying to get it at. We have other colors here, green, yellow, red. Let's consider those a stoplight. Green is my first offer, and that is a 70% offer on the average price P, which is the blue, right? So 70% of $168.73 is going to be $118.11. That is my first offer in person if I'm at a show or if I'm at a card shop. $118. Probably going to get shot down at that point. Then you move on up to the yellow, which is a 75% price point, $126.54. And then my hard stop is usually at this 80% price point, which is $134.98. Now, that's how I like to get my hands on a card such as this, but I also like to consider, most importantly, getting in the top third of sales, or bottom third of sale price, I should say. So I sort this column ascending, and I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like 134.60, which is just below this hard stop, would get me into the bottom third of price points for a sale. So really, that is my new hard stop on eBay. You're looking at 155.50 as a hard stop. And if you wanted to get into the top third of sales, we'll go down to the bottom here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 175.50 on eBay or 151.95 in person would end up netting you about, what, $15, $16 or so. So if I'm swinging, I'm trying to get in on the bottom third, trying to sell in the top third. So it looks like I could relatively easily swing a $15 profit on this if I had the time and patience. Now, I have a few numbers up top that I'm starting to add to these charts. And what these numbers are the population report that I gathered off of eBay today, in fact, for the number of PSA 10 grades that are out there. So this 2013 are the number of cards total that have been submitted in a base set card. Now, 904 of them are coming back at a PSA 10 grade. That is a crazy 45% of all of these base card submissions are coming back perfect. So, keep that in mind right now when you're sitting at home wondering if you should get your raw card graded. You got a 45% chance, especially if it's looking nice and sweet. You got about a 45% chance of getting that gem mint. I suspect that number is going to go down. Not that I'm saying that PSA has any ulterior motives, but that is a spicy high percentage. And I'm kind of seeing that a lot now with new cards being submitted, especially early on in the game. Now, keep in mind, this set pretty much is relatively new. 2013 cards submitted is not a lot. We're going to see that card that go up significantly, especially as PSA moves through its glut of inventory that it has to manage and grade out. All right, let's move on. We do have our graph here, which I have to fix here. We'll sort this one ascending just to check and see how stable this card has been. In a PSA 10 grade, we're getting less than a 50% swing. We're getting like a 30% swing from low to high, 151, 150, all the way up to 200 or so. About a third as far as that, or 33% swing from low to high. That is very, very tight right now. Let's move on to the red, white, and blue. So as you can see, I was not able to find very many comps on this one. So keep that in mind. I love this card. I think this card in the red, white, and blue looks so sweet, especially when you consider jersey, like almost a color match, we'll call it. I think it's so cool as far as this card is concerned. And as you can see, there have only been 88 submissions total, and 34 of them have gotten that PSA 10 grade. We're looking a little bit lower at about 39% are getting that perfect grade out on this card. Blue is going to be $561.50 as an average bid price. Sellers are taking home $486.84. First offer green is going to be $393.09. Yellow $421, and red hard stop is going to be $449.24. Really not a. I'm not going to go into the bottom or third or top third on this one just because we were only able to find 4. But I suspect, like I said above, that this will be filling out rather quickly as we see PSA get through that massive crush of brand new PSA grading requirements or needs that people have had from this set going live on the market. Next up, let's look at the pink again. We've got very few to consider, even less than the red, white, and blue. I do like this card. This is, I don't know, this might be my third or fourth favorite card in this set. We are seeing blue at $551.94. Seller take home of $478, green $386 as a 70% offer, $413 as a 75, and $441 as your red hard stop. I suspect that these numbers, the 610, 498, 87, I suspect these numbers are going to go down significantly as we see more of these cards grade out at a PSA 10. Again, 68 submissions total, 26 of them have come back 10s, 38%, pretty consistent with the percentage point on the red, white, and blue. I am not a buyer on this card right now. Not even close. I need to see more of them flush into the market because usually the first PSA 10s that hit the market are at a super premium. And I want to get nowhere near that right now. So I want to wait at least a few months to see where this market trends before I jump in on the pink. Again, only one sale to consider here with the green wave. I hate this card. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do not like the waves in this set. I just don't feel like they have staying power. I don't like the blurry look to them. I think in 10 years they'll look old. You know what I mean? I think people will be like, why did people like this card? That's my own personal opinion on that. But we saw one sell for $625.75. Hard stop on this one's a $500 valuation. So I think I think you could get your hands on this card easily right now for 500. Again, this is another one of those I'm waiting and seeing because I think this card's going to come down. We've got the orange laser. We're finally able to find quite a few of these, actually, which is very nice. We're seeing 418 as the average bid price on this card, which surprised me. But one thing I want to point out before we talk about those numbers, and this relates to the previous sales that we're talking about and why I'm not a buyer right now. So as you can see, February 3rd, and yeah, February 3rd, we had two cards come out, right, as a PSA 10 grade, $610 and $700. Within that first 2 weeks, we had our three highest sales points at with the February 12th. I can't speak right now. February 12th also having a $630 price point. Since then, those numbers have come down huge, right? We're talking half of the price point. This is exactly why I am not in on the pink and I'm not in on the green at all. And I'm almost not in on the red, white, and blue because it is too early in the game and those price points are probably going to be dropping as this chart shows. Cool? Makes more sense, right? Blue, 418, an average. Sellers are taking home 362.56. And then my green, yellow, and red are here for you. I probably, just because of the way this is trending right here, I'm thinking green is my highest price point on this. There's a lot of these cards out there that we just have yet to see hit the market. I think green is my highest, $292 right now. I think that's going to be a fair market price for it eventually. And I think hard stop anywhere above that, I don't know, it makes me a little nervous right now, especially when you consider turnaround when we're probably going to be seeing quite a few more of these cards hit the market. I just think that's fair, especially when you consider in person. Look at these most recents: 305 in person, 268 in person, 289 in person, 278 in person. This is what sellers are taking home on the most recent sales. And yeah, that's most of those are below this green. So anyways, let's sort ascending and see what our bottom third is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, there we are, 294.65. I want to stay below that. In fact, these numbers are making me think I might want to be closer to 260 in person if I'm buying at a card shop or show. That just makes me feel a little bit better. I do not think you're going to be able to get into the top third in sales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 347.57 in person as far as a trade or something along those lines. That sounds a little too spicy. That's well above the 80% and almost at the traditional seller's take home with a market that is going down right now. I love this card. I think it's cool. Let me say that. I think it's a very cool card. I'm a huge fan of orange, but we're going to see a lot of these cards hit the market. 433 have been graded. 246 came back at a 10. That's a 57% rate. Holy cow. I didn't realize that. A 57% rate of PSA 10s coming back. So I guess get it in now before that number starts plummeting, right? Okay. Last but not least, my favorite, the silver. And there's a lot of these out there right now. This one, again, has had a very high percentage come back at a PSA 10. So 575 submitted, 267 have come back as a 10. Average price point, we're looking at $917 to win the bid. We've got $795 for a seller's take-home. Green is going to be $642, $688 as a slow it on down, and $734 as a hard stop. Let's get into the bottom third. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 789 looks like is going to be the top third, or bottom third, I should say, as far as sales are concerned. And as you can see, that's well above the 80% price point. Well above. That means that this is going to be trading very, very tight. Let's sort this more and on date and look at the graph. Yeah, look at that graph. That is insanity. Look how consistent all of these sales are. To me, what I think is happening here, which might scare you out of getting one of these cards, these numbers look like there's a single big buyer out there right now, or maybe a small handful that have found what the market is going to demand and has said, I'm going to set a price point at 910 and I'll buy it. Nobody else is going to beat me. And people are just backing out at that price point. Can't say that I blame them. That gives me concern that while this looks relatively stable, I'm concerned that this is one big buyer going out and making the decision that they want to buy all these. Can't say that I blame them. It's a beautiful card. But if I'm looking to get my hands on a silver at this price point, I think I'm better off just, I don't know, grabbing a case. You know what I mean? Grabbing a case of these cards and trying to pull one myself, especially at a 46% clip for a 10 grade. I think I might be able to find a silver or two out of this set without having to pay a premium and get a bunch of other cards on top of it. So let me know if this helped you out. I know it's a lot of information to digest. Again, I did this in a raw version, so go ahead and check that video out if you want to see the comparison between PSA 10 and the raw version. All right, so what card am I going after as far as my favorites? I love this silver. I don't think it's attainable right now. I like I said, I think there's an institution out there grabbing them all, but if I can pull one in a pack, I am super happy. I do like the orange. It's just the market is on a downward trend. I think we're going to see a lot more of these hit the market, so I'm waiting a couple months on that. The one that I do find to be particularly interesting is the red, white, and blue. I don't know. I love it. I think it's got that color match option to it a bit, and if I can find this card at a decent price, I'm thinking that this is the one that has a bit of the staying power to it. All right. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button down below. And y'all have a great day. Okay? Take care.